Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be playing a midweek magic event where you can use any cards that you do not own in your collection in Historic. I'm going to be playing a Dimir blue-black Zombies deck in Historic that includes a bunch of creatures that have Amass as well as some discard cards. I have 2 copies of Waste Not. We'll see if that ends up getting into play. Alright, we got 2 islands and a black Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Callous Dismissal, Geralt Visionary Stitcher, could come in very handy, and the Eternal Skylord, and Champion of the Perished. I say it's a good hand to start with. Putting the Champion of the Perished on the battlefield is pretty much a no-brainer. Let's hope he doesn't take them out. I do have 2 others, but we'll see if those even come into play. It's got a Necroblossom Snarl. Alright, put an island on the battlefield. None of these are useful right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack for 1 damage. Hello. Opponent says hello back. Opponent. Cast, you happen upon a glade. Opponent searches for lands. Alright, let's get Geralt Visionary Stitcher on there. It's gonna give my zombies flying. And I'm gonna attack again. Opponent casts Dragonkin Berserker. I've enjoyed using him a few times. I put Necro Duality on the battlefield. We all know what that does. Let's just see how much it does in this match. I want to get around to using a couple of my dragon decks more. Got at least 1 dragon deck that has Dragonkin Berserker in it. Oh, Tanazir Quandrix. I don't think I've seen this one before. I don't play Historic a lot, but I've played it a decent amount of times. Looks like a creature I think I would like to get sometime, add to my dragon collection. Let's block his attack. Got some choices here. Put Faceless Haven on the battlefield. And let's go ahead and use that Callous Dismissal on his Tanazir Quandrix, which will also amass me a 1/1 zombie creature token. So far so good. Let's go ahead and attack with Champion of the Perished. Alright, he's putting Tanazir Quandrix back on the battlefield as expected. Has Trample and Flying. Could be a challenge. I do have Bloodchief's Thirst, and I have enough to cast it for its kicker cost. I'm thinking, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of Tanazir Quandrix. Probably a bit frustrating for him, but we certainly all have those moments. Part of the game. We'll see what else he has. Attacking, boom! Still only 2 damage, but we're gonna get more powerful though. Alright, using his Boast ability to create a 5/5 dragon token. I'm gonna block with my zombie token and with Geralf. Taking out his Dragonkin Berserker. Alright, let's use God Eternal Kefnet. Triggers Champion of the Parish, of course, but also, of course, it will not copy with Necroduality because it's legendary. So we're going to choose to just keep one of these, obviously. So the champion's now 4/4. Use Vicious Rumors. Drain 1 life and make opponent discard a card and mill a card. Gonna hold back the attack for now. Casting a green dragon. Let's block with my zombie token. Lord of the Accursed. Other zombies you control get +1/+1. And you can also tap Lord of the Accursed for 1 mana, 1 black to make all your zombies have menace until end of turn. And you know what? Since Lord of the Accursed has higher toughness than its power, I'm going to use Geralt the Visionary Stitcher's ability to sacrifice one of the Lord of the Accursed, making it a 5/5. Now I'm going to attack with Champion of the Parish and God Eternal Kefnet. And that brings him down to -1 health. He only had 1 blocker. He's like, well, I'm finished. He didn't even block with him. And let's see. I got another Hallowed Haunting, which I have not used yet. I'm planning on trying to build a deck around it with a whole bunch of enchantments. See if I can get that to trigger. Alright, so the cards in this deck. Blood Chief's Thirst. 3 Champion of the Parish. 2 Duress. 2 Shambling Ghast. 1 Vicious Rumors. Callous Dismissal, which is not in my collection at the moment. For 1 mana, 1 blue. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Amass 1. If you're new to the Amass mechanic, it puts a +1/+1 counter on any army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. And we have Startle. Pretty decent, especially since it draws a card. The main purpose of it is to create that zombie token to trigger Champion of the Parish. And the target creature gets -2 power until end of turn. And you create the zombie creature token with Decade and draw a card. Black Cat. This is another Vicious Rumors and Black Cat are 2 of the historic ones that are in my collection. When he dies, target opponent discards a card at random. And we have Ghastly Gloomhunter, Infernal Grasp, Tainted Adversary, 2 Waste Knot, which I'm planning on adding to my collection, at least one of them one day. It's kind of situational, but I'd like to try it out. Enchantment for 1 mana, 1 black. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, add 2 swamp. And whenever an opponent discards a non-creature, non-land card, draw a card. So, kind of situational. I mean, you could have tons of discard cards in your deck, but just remember that at some point, the opponent is going to have either maybe 1 card in its hand, or he's going to use all his cards until his next draw step. So, for the most part, usually the best time to use discard cards are towards the beginning of the match, and you might not have Waste Knot If you want to, I guess if you have 3 or 4 of them and you're itching to at least try it out, then having 3 or 4 of them in your deck will increase the likelihood of getting to trigger this. I saw it used against me once, so I decided to add it to my list to craft one day. I have a pretty long list of cards that I'll eventually craft. We also have 2 Blade Stitch Scab, 1 Skull Scab. If you're not already aware, if you have Champion of the Parish on the battlefield, and if you don't have anything else to exploit, you can exploit Skull Scab itself, essentially creating a copy of itself. A 2/2 black zombie creature token, without exploit, of course. And it will trigger Champion and Parish +1 counters twice. And we have Geralt Visionary Stitcher. And 1 Death Baron. I have 2 in my collection, but since I have a couple other creatures that give +1 counters, decided to just stick with just 1 Death Baron. Although he does give other zombies and skeletons, if you have any, does give them Death Touch. Demogorgon's Clutches. Opponent discards 2 cards, mills 2 cards, and loses 2 life. 2 Headless Rider. A Lord of the Accursed that I didn't really get to use, but hopefully at some point in the future. No Way Out. Vizier of the Scorpion. Vizier of the Scorpion, which I recently added to my list to craft one day. When he enters battlefield, amass 1, and zombie tokens you control have Death Touch. Gleaming Overseer. I crafted him not long ago, after an opponent in Historic used him against me. And he costs 1 mana, 1 blue, and 1 black, and he's a 1/4 zombie wizard. When he enters battlefield, amass 1, and zombie tokens you control have Hexproof and Menace. And God Eternal Kefnet, that at some point in the past I added to my list to craft. I'm gonna we have a God Eternal Kefnet for 2 mana, 2 blue. He's a 4/5 zombie god with flying. And you may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card, and you may cast the copy. And the copy costs 2 less to cast. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. I'm planning on crafting that one day. 2 Necroduality. Relentless Advance, 4 mana sorcery that makes you amass 3. Eternal Skylord, for 4 mana, a 3/3 zombie wizard. When he enters the battlefield, amass 2, and zombie tokens you control have flying. And Unhallowed Phalanx. Decided just to put 1 in here. He's a great tank, but he costs 5 mana, about the same as some of the other creatures in this list. If you do get to use him when you have Geralt Visionary Stitcher, you can use Geralt's ability to literally transform Unhallowed Phalanx into a 13/13 with flying. It already has flying, but and we got a Scarab God, pretty powerful, 5/5 legendary creature god. He's not a zombie himself, but at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. And for 2 mana, 1 blue, 1 black, exile target creature from a graveyard, and you will create a token of that copy, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. When he dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So, pretty powerful. Definitely involves zombie tokens. He's just not a zombie himself. So he won't trigger Champion of the Parish. And of course, since he's legendary, you can't copy him with Necroduality. Have an Eye of the Have a Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Enjoy using him from time to time. Land that becomes a 3/3 Black Beholder creature with menace until end of turn. And also whenever he attacks, exile target card from defending player's graveyard. Two Shipwreck Marshes, which is blue or black, and it enters the battlefield tapped unless you already control 2 or more other lands. And Temple of Deceit, which is in Historic Dimir Beyond Death. When it enters the battlefield, you can scry 1. Faceless Haven. It entered the battlefield in this match, but I wasn't wanting to spend the mana just yet to try to see if it will trigger Champion of the Parish, since it becomes all creature types. I assume it does. I haven't tried that yet. But one day I'm going to try that. It's just considering I'm using a bunch of creatures I haven't got to use before with this midweek magic. Did not choose to activate that. So yeah, that's this deck. That was a pretty fun match, and getting to use a few cards I had not used before. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to tap that like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching.